All right. What's up, YouTube?
Also, we're on YouTube Live also.
We're on YouTube down here. We're on Facebook up here.
All right. Well, that's going to be weird. Going to be doing these things right here, but whatever. I'll be focusing more on the Facebook cameras, and that's where most of our current interaction is at right now. YouTube, what's up? Thank you for joining us out here. If you guys are in YouTube land and have never heard of the AZ Flip guys, and you guys are in for a fucking treat today, and yes, you did hear that correct, a fucking treat. We tend to be very, what's the word?
Explicit?
Yeah, I think explicit is a good word.
It's not too bad, though. I think we're just blunt, we're to the point. You know, we kind of tell it like it is. And
some people like to call it keep it real. Some people say whatever the fuck, unprofessional. Whatever it is that you want to call us, that's exactly what will be here.
Sure.
So, anyway.
I don't mind the unprofessional thing, you know, man. I was always in the world of khakis and dress shirts. And I hated it, man. It drove me crazy dressing like that. I'm a jeans and t-shirt kind of guy.
It's crazy how that works. It's crazy how people have this misconception of what they want. And, you know, I've had this conversation a lot with people. And normally the analogy that I use, because it's easier, you know, I normally, like when I talk about business, especially when I'm explaining it to people that are not business people, I normally use the analogy of dating because it's just everybody understands. Everybody dates at one point, even if you're gay or straight, I mean, you still date. But anyway, so women have this thing about what they want, right? And a lot of it is not even what they want personally. It's what they think they want based on the opinions of what other people have said.
Right.
So a lot of times it's like, oh, well, my man needs to be this tall or he needs to make this type of whatever type of money, which is fine. They say they put that out there, but in reality, it's something completely different.
Right.
So we tend to be very upfront and honest here with the AZ Flip guys. We tend to be very, very just straightforward. You know, like it's what do you think you want versus what it is that you want. And a lot of times, like people that wear the suits to go to work and they'll tell you that they're happy when you talk to them and they're in front of the general public. Oh yeah, I love my job. I got good benefits and I do this, I do that. But then if you talk to them like in private, they're not all that happy.
Right.
So I was over hanging in. Look who do we have? We got Keon in the house. Hey, Keon.
Nicholas, thanks. We got Nicholas Huffman, and I didn't want to disturb you while you're out there, so I hit him up for Costa Rica stuff, and he gave me the goods.
Yeah, why the fuck would you ask me? Like, you got fucking Nick over there. My buddy Nomadic Nick. So this motherfucker, he's gonna be rolling through town.
Yep.
I'll let you know when he's here, cause yeah, have you ever met him? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, good. So anyway, he's gonna be rolling through town, and then he's gonna be stationing in San Diego for a bit. So he's going to be driving from Pensacola, where he's at right now.
A real life nomad.
Real life nomad. And here's the thing, guys. And then, Nick, I'm going to use you as an example, buddy. It is what it is. I was hanging out with Nick in Panama. This is where I still got my Panama bracelet. But I was hanging out with Nick over in Panama. And I remember having a conversation with him. And Nick was like, hey, man, you know, I feel bad because I only have X amount of money in my bank account. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about? You're 28 years old. You've been traveling half the world at least. You live an amazing lifestyle. Most of these people out here, you know, most of these people here at a regular job, they would give their left nut to be able to travel half the world.
Totally. You know, that really surprises me to hear you say that because yeah, the grass is always greener, right?
Always.
We're over here looking like this guy's living the life. He's a scuba instructor. He's been all over the world. And you know, he's thinking, you know, he's looking at other people and thinking the same thing, I guess.
And yeah, and you know, so we fit the audience that we fit. And if we're not a fit for you, that's good. And if we are a fit for you, then fucking awesome, even better. So why don't you update them with some of the stuff we have going on? You tell me, oh, did I have your? I might have your. Let me see if I'm connected.
Well, let's give some shout outs right here. Caesar, our AC guy. Thanks for joining us, man. Emily Lopez, our local realtor. You know Emily?
No, I've never dealt with Emily.
Yeah, I've done a few deals with her. We got Oscar Aviles in the house. We got Randy, man, consistency. We like
Randy Matthew. Thank you for joining us here. And actually, Randy, guys, we talk about it all the time. AZ Flip guys, we're here to help. Randy called me yesterday. I was driving back from San Diego. He said, "Hey man, I'm looking at a flip. It's got an addition. What do you think is going to cost me to do this or that?" Or I think he wanted to know how much it was going to be permitted or something along those lines. Whatever. He reached out to us, and that's what we tell you guys all the time. We are here for you guys to ask questions, so you can ask us questions live. Prefer that we ask us questions live during the show. That way we can answer them during the show, and that way there's other people that can do it. And if you guys are joining us and it's not a live show right now, so if you guys are catching us on the replay, I don't know, does YouTube do replay?
Yeah, YouTube, it's going to upload. Once we're done, it'll upload and it'll always be there.
Perfect. So all the people out there that are watching on YouTube land, if you guys have any questions and are not watching live, make sure you put your questions in the comments and we'll go back and answer them. We always try to go back every once in a while, and then we do this show every single Friday. So
yeah, this is going to be the ultimate question show. Randy, you asked what's on the agenda. You tell me, man. So I know BP just had an amazing week. I'm imagining we didn't even get time to talk about it. He just walked in a minute ago. So
you're punching your password for there. Let me see. Who do we have? We got Nick, who says, "I'm a bum looking for fun." Yes, that is correct. And the thing is, great that it's your happiness. That's all that matters. You don't need to have hundreds of thousands of dollars sitting in the bank. It's your happiness. You do what you do, work where you work, move on, because all these people out here, all these people wearing a tie, all these people wearing a suits, I promise you they're miserable. So I was over in San Diego hanging out. I had an amazing weekend. I'm gonna tell you guys a little bit about it. You guys can ask questions as we go through. You can ask questions because you haven't heard anything about any of this shit.
Man, I can't wait. Now, what was the size of this? This was pretty intimate occasion,
it was
right?
me and Casey and Greg's house.
It was a party of 3?
Yeah. And Casey's only lucky. I told you, you couldn't go because you were saving money for that.
Yeah, I was supposed to be gone.
Yeah. So you should have been there with me.
Yeah.
But Casey jumped in there, so he couldn't. But the point is, we're leaving San Diego. I stopped by to have some breakfast by the beach. I'm putting it on my Instagram. Of some of the stuff that I'm doing. Some girl that I've known for a while messages me and she's like, "We need to get together ASAP. I'm tired of this 9 to 5 bullshit. Like I'm so tired of it." And I've been preaching the same thing forever, but it just is what it is, guys. So you have to make sure that you're living for your own happiness. Don't fall into that trap that, hey, I'm gonna do what other people to do. And that's why I use the example about the ladies, because a lot of times ladies are like, well, my man needs to be this way and this way and that way, and then they don't look at the important things. And then they end up with some guy that fits the description, but is not somebody that makes them happy. Now they're stuck there. Yep. And take that outside of dating, take that into life. How many men or female end up marrying people that they don't like? How many people end up in careers that they don't like? How many people end up in jobs that they can't stand? Yeah. How many people
maybe because they're trying to impress someone too. How many people are in jobs that their mom is really proud of them, but they hate what they do?
They hate it.
Trying to live up to standards.
And I talked about this before. I said I was using the example of some guy on Facebook put a question, and he said, "Would your 40-year-old self be happy with what you're doing?" Everybody said yes or no. One person said, "Or would your 16-year-old self be happy with what you're doing?" And this guy responded, "My 16-year-old self would be proud of me, but my 40-year-old self fucking hates it."
Damn.
And that is reality. That is reality. That's as real as it gets.
And there's I listened to this one. I don't know what it refers to, but she talked about how she assesses her happiness like once a week.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking about it, like we always imagine, of course I'm happy, of course I'm not, but you ever really think about it, like at all, is there an aspect of your life that you're not happy in? And then
people don't even look at that, because then it's like a little piece of yarn, you start pulling it and it starts unraveling. If you tell yourself, you know what, I'm really not happy with my life. Well, okay, well then shit. Well, why aren't you happy with your life? Okay, well it's this and that. It's because of my relationship status. Well, why are you even in that relationship? Well, it's because of this. Why did you let that happen? And eventually starts the camera starts going from there's my problem in the world to facing right back at you. And that's the part that a lot of people don't want. And that's honestly one of the hardest parts about entrepreneurship, is that in particular that people are not willing to just kind of start looking into themselves. So we got over here, we got Scott Wally Novak. Hey, what's up, Scott? Thank you for joining us over here.
Scott Wally Novak.
Yes,
that's a badass name.
It is a badass name.
It just like flows.
It does. It sounds like he would be a rapper, right? Like Scott Wally Novak. It sounds like he would have some flow. If I would have some flow, I would throw some in there. Random Matthews is asking what's on the agenda. You know, honestly, today.
That shit down. What's going on here? Yeah.
Is that? Oh, I couldn't. Yeah, there, man. I'm over here just talking. So, Randy, basically today we're going to be talking about. Oh my God. So I'm going to be catching you guys up on what just happened this last weekend. More on the real estate side of things. And on the real estate side of things, I was able to have a one-on-one sit down for about 3 hours with my good buddy Leo, not the Leo that we know, but a different Leo who lives down in the San Diego area. And this guy literally gave me a 3-hour in-depth schooling on how to raise money, specifically how to build funds, specifically how to make sure that the AZ Flip Guys fund that we build is beneficial to everybody involved with it. Man.
Crazy knowledge.
Man.
See, that's amazing.
Oh,
See,
man.
Like, because we know, like, I mean, I've raised $500,000. If we don't count, if we talk about our fix and flip money, we've raised probably $3 million.
Oh, for sure.
Without even kind of thinking about it. But now, you know, when we're going to get really serious about it, it's time to study, you know, go get education on it.
And they broke down everything from 504s to 506 to LLCs, funds, K1s, all kinds of other amazing things. But before I get to the specifics of what happened, I think I got to prep you guys, because one of the things that we talk about all the time is network. And it's funny because every fucking question you guys ask, most of the time could be answered by network. Just go network. Find somebody in your network. Ask people in your network.
Shit, most of the questions they ask, they already know. You know, they have that confirmation.
Let me see. Emily says, hi, guys. She says she watches your replays. Very interesting.
I like that.
Nice. Nice.
Word for it.
Awesome. I love it. So
thank you for watching, Emily.
And as you go through networking, eventually, so at first you need to just network. Then eventually you need to start being more selective as who you network with. You need to start networking more on purpose. And then when you get to a certain point, you need to really start looking out for outside individuals, outside groups that can guide you to where you're at. And one of the groups that I'm talking about specifically is a group called Secret Knock. Okay. Now I will forefront or forecast or whatever the fuck you say with that, whatever that word is supposed to be. And if any of you language Nazis out there, go ahead and put in the right phrase that I'm supposed to say. But I'll forward it with this. I don't get paid to
I see what you're saying. I know what you're saying. You'll preface it with this.
Preface it. There we go. Eso to all my Latin people. So I'll preface it to this. Basically, I don't get paid for saying any of this. I don't get any kickback from Secret Knock. They don't give me a discount. They don't say, hey, man, well, you know, if you bring X amount of people, next time you're in for free. Bullshit. It's expensive. It's exclusive. And it is
Elijah would have got that discount, though. Elijah would have got that discount.
Yeah, but I mean, that's just kind of to shut him up at this point.
Hey, I believe February 2nd, our guy Elijah I. Rubin, Constantly Closing, will be our guest. It was supposed to be today, but everything was messed up today, man.
Yeah, everything was made. Things were jacked up on my end that I didn't even tell you about, but it doesn't matter.
So you prefaced.
I prefaced this. And it's the thing is I don't get paid anything for it. Nothing. I don't get any kickback. No, nothing whatsoever. Nonetheless, Secret Knock, in my experience, has been the best thing that I've ever invested a shit ton of money on. A shit ton. You know, I was doing my calculations, and I think last year I must have spent about $30,000 after I include hotels, stay, food, everything else that happened within that time frame.
Which is about a yearly for a university, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're paying for your education one way or another, guys.
And the thing about it, guys, is that a lot of times people get a lot of times people want everything for free. I mean, and that's just the reality of it. Whether it is, hey, if you are a gardener, people are like, hey, can you come in and help me out? Can you help, show me how to trim this tree, or show me how to do this, or show me how to do that. If you come in, people constantly bombard me or Chris about, hey, can you show me how to do real estate? Show me how to wholesale, show me how to do this, show me how to do that. And a lot of times most people aren't willing to pay for it. And unfortunately, the sad reality is that if you give somebody free information, they're going to treat it as free information.
Right.
They're not gonna do anything. When I first started in real estate, I worked for this guy named Derek Jar, and Derek Jar was a millionaire by the time that I worked with him. And he was putting together some programs, and he put together a seminar, and he charged people $500 to come. And I remember that he told me, he was like, "Look, I don't need the $500. Like, I don't need their $500 at all. It's not like I need it in my fucking bank account. I just want to get their attention.
Right.
And if I have their money, then I have their attention. Because if I let them come for free, then they're going to be just, kind of coming in and out.
They're going to go out on break. Maybe they'll come back. Maybe they won't. $500, they're going to pay attention.
Exactly. Now, when you put a few zeros behind that, then you really pay attention.
Your ass is there early.
Yeah. You really pay attention. And that is something that Secret Knock has been able to do. Secret Knock has allowed me to connect with some of the highest, most influential entrepreneurs in the U.S. here recently. It's been an amazing experience. I have met some top entrepreneurs. I have met Caleb Maddox, who is a young entrepreneur. He's probably about 15, 16 now. Just a top speaker, top 40 under 40 Forbes list. His dad, who was an amazing, Matt Maddox, was just incredible. Dan Flightman, who is the youngest person who ever take a company public. I met what's his name? Ron Klein, who created the magnetic strip on the back of every single one of your credit cards, debit cards. He created the multiple listing service. He created a bunch of other stuff. I've talked to the gentleman who created Priceline. I've met the couple that started Barefoot Wines. I've met a guy who's close to $1 billion net worth strictly just by buying land. I've met some of the coolest motherfuckers out there. Brian Smith, the guy that created Ugg boots.
Right.
White, Mr. Billy Bob Teeth, who is worth hundreds of millions of dollars because he created stupid little gag teeth. All those people within sitting distance right here. All those people within eating distance. Man, I will tell you right now, if you're interested, give me a message and I'll give you a little bit more. I'll tell you what they tell me, what they tell everybody else. It's expensive, it's exclusive, but it's worth it. That's all I got to say, but that's where I went to go. That's exactly where I was at for the last 2 days. I just drove back. I just got here last night, and man, do I got some nuggets to share with you guys. So let me share this over here. I think we have, before I get into that, let me ask some questions. And as always, guys, bring your questions. If you have any questions about anything that we're talking about, any questions about flipping in general, any questions about our real estate fund, any questions about buying and holding, any questions about flipping or anything like that, make sure that you let us know.
Yes, sir. We are the AZ Flip Guys. So bring us any of your questions. We can answer them on the fly. Do we have anything in right now?
Yeah, we got Randy over here. So Randy says, here's what I learned: due diligence on an added bedroom that is not permitted. Oh, okay. Yeah, so that's what it was. Randy Matthews had contacted me, called me yesterday and said, hey, man, I got some questions. It was specifically about an added bedroom that was not permitted. He wanted to know the cost of the permit, can run a few grand, which is something that I told him. So consider that in your offer to your seller. Be sure that there's not a drop-down floor. Be sure there's a closet, and more importantly, there's ductwork and AC.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. And he just summed that. And this was all information that Randy said, hey, man, I got this property. I'm locking it up. I'm thinking about flipping it. They got this additional bedroom. I don't know what's what. I've never dealt with it. Can you explain to me the permitting process? So anyway, this may not be nationwide, but it definitely affects here in Phoenix. I'm assuming in a market like Phoenix, so any like New Mexico, Las Vegas, any of those type of places, I think it's going to be very similar. But basically, if you have a room that was added, if it was done long enough, far back in the past, long enough, then you can go ahead and not have to take out permits for it. If it's something more recent, then you definitely want to get it permitted. However, only because you don't take out permits does not mean that it's going to appraise. Right. Does not mean that it's going to pass inspection. So what you want to do is, if it's already there, if they did a good job, so if they did a shitty job, you have to get a permit so you can fix all of that. You may not have to knock it all down, but you have to get a permit. If it's already there, though, a few things that you want to make sure that you're looking out for. One of them, first and foremost, is a step down. So why don't you run the construction company?
Yeah. So all right. So I'll give you a good example. Carport addition. Mm-hmm. We just did one last year on 18th, and so you have your carport, and it's always going to be about 4 inches down from the rest of the foundation. So a few things that we had to do to make it permittable. So we did get a permit. So the first thing that you're going to have to do is you're going to have to prove to them that you can provide parking elsewhere. Luckily for us, it was a corner lot, and it was an alley, a house with an alley behind it. So we easily could, bring in cars. That's where I drew it. We didn't actually build the parking back there, but we got our permit for it. So the next thing we had to do was, so it did have some walls, but it wasn't all done right. So we had to come in, add the bolts for the concrete, so we could tie in the rest of the house correctly. Yeah, raise it up, and then add ductwork. Ours was a complete rehab. And
that's one of the things, guys, if you guys are especially in these market like Phoenix, or in the Phoenix market particularly, don't just be like, oh shit, look, there's an extra room, I'm gonna pay extra because there's an extra room. No, if there's a step down, they're not gonna count that. Meaning that most of the time your houses are especially in Arizona, they're built on a concrete slab. So anything that was not originally there, which would be the carport or the Arizona room, or something in the backyard, the back patio or something, normally you step down to get into it. Right. So you have to consider the price of laying concrete to make it level with where you're at. Second of all, in addition to that, you want to make sure that you have a closet. You can have it straight, you can have air conditioning running to it, but if it's not a closet, then it's not considered. If there's not a closet, then it's not considered a room. Right. Whether it's like an office or a den or whatever the hell I say, but it's not considered a room.
Yeah, you'll get the square footage, it's just not going to be considered a bedroom.
Yes. So you want to make sure that you have that, and then more importantly, especially in Arizona, especially if you're in a market like this that has temperatures, the weather that we do, you want to make sure that you're running the ductwork. You want to make sure that room has duct, and that's one of the things that happens here locally, is that they might enclose the carport, as he says, but they don't run ductwork to it. So they'll just put an external AC unit. That's not going to pass. That's not going to be counted on. You're going to have to run ductwork. So make sure that you're putting that into the place. Let me see here. Randy says, I grew up speaking Spanish, and my dad spoke hillbilly, so screwed up my language, Nazis. That's all good, man. English is my second language. So Kelly Rojas says, she tagged somebody named Jose Junior Martinez. Watch or save later. Love their weekly videos. Kelly, much appreciate you. We see you here every single week. You're also constantly sharing our stuff. And for anybody out there, make sure that you share these videos. As I said, guys, we're not pitching anything. We're not selling anything. Even when I'm suggesting stuff, I don't make anything off of it. So just make sure that you guys are sharing that information if you find it valuable. We got Barbara Humrick in the house. Hey, Humrick House, how you doing? Mrs. Humrick House in the house. So anyway, this is my good friend Barb. She's out in Indiana, Illinois, Wisconsin, somewhere out there right now. She says, "Happy Friday, everyone. You keep warm." Fuck that. I got cold.
I had to put my sweatshirt on. It was like 68 in here. Oh, it was rough.
Yeah, this is rough, man. I had to wear I'm wearing my sweatshirt just because I'm thinking of how cold you are right now, Barb. Like that. We got Randy Matthews got some more questions over here. So, and the question, I did rehabs in 2012, 2013, and this year I'm just getting back into it. I'm on a flip that's going to be, let me make sure I'm reading this correctly. I'm on a flip. I'm going to be the buyer first. Then 2 months later, a seller. what are some ways that I can save on real estate commission on both sides? Get a license or no charge commission, or have a buying agent on BC side and only get 2.5. What do you suggest about that?
So
basically, long story short,
he wants to get paid when he buys it, and he wants to get paid when he sells it.
Well, no, he wants to save money because he's gonna buy it and then turn around and sell it. And I'm assuming that he wants to use the same agent, so he wants to see how he can kind of save some money.
Yeah, well, I think, personally, I'm a real estate agent. I think people should have their license or have a hookup. You got a hookup? I got my license. So, I could help you with that if you want. But if you're going to be doing a lot of them, consider getting your license. You'll have MLS access. You'll have a lot of, if you're doing a lot of the work yourself, you could really help to.
We got Ivan in the house. We got Giovanni here. Thank you for joining us. Well, he's asking how can he save exactly, and the thing about it is, here's the thing, guys. We do these shows live. A lot of times during the week, most of our content is provided by Cashflow Chris in the form of flip tips. And just 1 or 2 flip tips ago, Randy, if you weren't paying attention, I would suggest you go back. The one that he did with Janet Moore from the title company, she shows you exactly how to save money from a title aspect, and basically it's called an hold open policy. Yeah. If you want more specific information about the hold open policy, check out that video that he put out. Was last week, a few weeks ago, like maybe less than a week ago, right?
Yeah, it was last week.
Whatever. So anyway, guys, he goes in there. That's a great way to save money that I didn't know, especially if you're going to be buying it and selling it within a certain amount of time. Hold open policy. If you have a realtor out there, let them know. Say, hey man, look, here's the thing. I got a thing I'm looking to buy. I'm looking to use you to buy it, and I'm looking to use you to sell it. Would you be willing to give me a discount? Would you be? And most of the time they will, because they're basically getting 2 deals for the price of 1. Hell, if you take a little commission check or a little cut, like whatever, you still get 2 deals under your belt, except for 1, and that helps out your numbers in one way or the other. Yeah. Let me see. Get a license. I would, honestly, if you're going to be flipping again, I would suggest that you get your own license. I know that a lot of times it doesn't matter when everything's going good, but especially when the numbers get tight, like on that one that we did, one of the ones that we did recently where we split the deal. I mean, you made almost as much as a realtor as we made as a fucking on the thing. Absolutely. Now it's not like you made a killing. We've admitted that one particular deal, a lot of different things happen, and that's another thing that you want to make sure that you're constantly trying to save money on your deal. So make sure that you find all these little ways that you can do. Hold open policy is definitely a great one. Having the same realtor that you're using for all your listings is a great one, so you can work out special deals with them. And a lot of times, if you give people volume, they'll be willing to give you a discount on prices in general.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we're a discount for investors. We're a discount service for investors because I don't know how many years we sold. We sold like 15 properties last year for this guy.
Yeah. So you sold all my properties?
Yeah, that's a lot of signs in the yard. That's a lot of buyer leads. There's a lot of incentive for an agent to do something like that.
Yes, and so we got a Barbara says she's just outside of Chicago. When I go in Chicago, not when it's fucking snowing though. Oh shit! But when I go to Chicago, I'll make sure to hit you up. I gotta go check out. Actually, I gotta go see my boy here who made these little things over here. So Mr. Nathan from Walk and Talk, he created this little notepad. This actually is the one that I was using this weekend. It's something that I got in Prosperity Camp. This is their Prosperity Camp is a part of Secret Knock. So Secret Knock's expensive as is just for a 2-day event, right? And then in addition to that, if you want to pay more than double for that, then you get to go to a even more exclusive thing called Prosperity Camp, which is something that I've done a few times. And I got this thing here. So he's over in Chicago. One of the great things about networking and about Prosperity Camp and about Secret Knock is the fact that you meet a lot of successful individuals, but from different parts of the country, different parts of the world, and different industries. It's not just your own particular industry.
And man, I love what you just did. See, guys, what he just did was completely subtle. He didn't even realize that he did it, but he just pumped up this guy, That guy might get sales for this, and that completely was not the intention. That's what it is. It's all about building your network. And by doing that, it's how can you help people? We always want to, I got a friend who does that. I got a friend who does that. You got to work with this guy. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that's the little subtleties of it.
Let me see here. So Randy says, thanks. I'll check out the Hold Open one. Yeah, make sure that you check it out. As I said, There was just 2 videos ago or something. It's under the Flip Tips. Chris Ontiveros. So this is what we tell you guys. Not only like the AZ Flip guys, but make sure that you're following the AZ Flip guys, because not only do we do stuff on our show, but we're constantly putting up different stuff on the AZ Flip guys regarding real estate. And then Chris, he always does a lot of the flip tips. So he comes in with a lot of different tips about flipping in general, you know, things about the property, buying the property, listing the property, and anything having to do with that. So we have, let me see, we have Aaron Douglas, we got MacArthur. Hey, MacArthur's in the house over here. We got Kim Diggins. Hey, what's up, Kim? Thank you for joining us here. And do I recognize that picture? Holy shit! Yeah. So if I'm not mistaken, hey, what's up, Jeffrey? If I'm not mistaken, Kim had actually messaged me on Instagram. If I'm not mistaken, on my post, I put a post last Friday evening once I got final confirmation that our apartment officially closed. Ooh. So yeah, buddy, the apartment. 15 units, bow, pow, pow, no money out of my pocket, bow, 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 cash flowing from day one, bow, 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 fucking property manager in place, bow, bow, bow.
The cash flow that is probably more than you made at your first few jobs out of high school.
Oh, for sure, for sure. But anyway, our buddy over here, he had actually joined us. He had sent me a message. He said, hey, man, I'm interested in learning. And I said, hey, do me a favor, go back to the AZ Flip guys. And I did. If I'm not mistaken, I want to say it's episode 29. I think I was counting those, or I looked through them. Episode 29, where we go with an actual black whiteboard, and we break down from start to finish the real estate deal, the special transaction that we did here, how I was able to find, how I was able to negotiate, how I was able to fund that apartment complex deal. I think it's 29.
Yeah, I think it's 29 or 30. This is evaluation.
No, 29. That's I'm almost certain that it was. So anyway, that is one of the things that we do here with the AZ Flip guys.
So that was in September. If you want to hear that episode, go back to September. We got four in September. It's one of those.
Yes, and he was, as I said, the guy, I forget his name because you took him off the screen there. But he was actually one of the guys that messaged me. He looks his profile picture looks identical to the other one. He messaged me and he said, "Hey man, I'm interested in learning." I said, "Go do yourself a favor, follow the AZ Flip guys, check out that episode, but more specifically, follow the AZ Flip guys."
We got content, guys. Flipping Fridays has like 45 hours.
Oh yeah, all kinds of content, probably even more, including the times that we went over. We got Oscar in the house. We got Kimberly. Hey, Kimberly, thank you for joining us. I'll follow up with your lady there here in a minute. $1,000. Do you think we can get her into the fucking mining cryptocurrency?
We're gonna open another one. I was probably gonna set it at 2,500.
Okay,
I might do another 1,250 run.
Let me know. I got somebody here that can help. We got Brandon. We got Melody. We got Risha. Hey, Risha, how's it going? So we got MacArthur and Barbara say, hey, way to go, congratulations. Thank you guys. For you guys that know me, and Barbara, you've seen me grow. Barbara, you've seen me work at fucking Verizon Wireless. You saw me hate my fucking life. You saw me wanting to just kill myself. You knew from their first day that you met me that I didn't belong in that place, that I didn't belong with these motherfuckers. You knew that I was destined for a lot of better things, and you believed in me from day one. And I have a lot of people that believed in me from day one, but Barbara is one of those people that really, really believed in me from day one and really stood with me. So I really appreciate you. I love you and your husband, who actually, he does a lot of our website stuff. So he's our guy that does that.
Happy Friday to you, Brandon Simmons.
We got Ryan in the house. Ryan Labadee. We got Risha says, what's up, guys? We got Branding says, what's up? We got Miss Michelle Bosch over here.
Bosch.
So, guys, before I get distracted, let me see, looking for a buyer in a townhome on 51st and McDowell, 68K. Ivan, send me that message.
Ivan, stop. Dude, it's worth $72,000. I told you. Come on, man.
Well, if he's already told you, then he's already told you. What the hell?
Don't try to sell stuff that's overpriced. It's a waste of time.
There is a saying that people have, and people sometimes use it as a sort of pride. I can push a square peg into a round hole. Just go look for a fucking square hole. Find something that just fits. Christina is killing it. Dude, yeah. Christina just got, so she's going to get paid $2,600 or something, a little bit over $2,600 here on Monday. So I gotta get that check for her. I got cutting it out on Monday. We have another one here that we're probably gonna make about 10 G's on. So she's gonna make about half of that. So she's just lining them up, and she's got a few other ones. Hustling, she's got another. We'll talk about it once we get out. But she's got a small piece of land. But it's like in a mini community, so it's like 3,000 square feet or something like that. That's kind of we'll talk about it a little bit later. Anyway, Ivan, just stop, bro. Just stop it. Don't try to force it. Applaud you for finding deals and for trying to make deals happen, but at the same time, don't try to force it. Put it out there. If you can get somebody, if great. If not, then move on to the next one. If you can find 2, 3 other ones, and somebody that you're talking to says, hey, you know what? Yeah, it's cool you got these houses, but I would really like a condo on like 68th Avenue or something. And I think I'm buying it for like my mom. I don't really need to be discounted. Yeah. Boom, you can make a thing happen. But if you already brought it up to people and they're telling you it's not a deal, buddy out there. That's one of the most annoying things about wholesalers out there, especially newbie wholesalers that just don't get it, is the fact that they try to force you to understand why they think it's a fucking deal. So real flippers that are actually doing it, that have been doing it, are telling you that it's not a deal. Who the fuck are you to tell me that it's a deal, right? And a lot of times, well, if you just do this, the house down the street, look, motherfucker.
Oh man, if you just double the square footage.
You're like, no, you don't know. All the time to start wholesaling first, because you don't know. When we talked to Mr. Kahuna, Corey Peterson, huge $12.7 million apartment complex deal, he said, I'm glad that I started wholesaling first because I learned what was a good deal and what was not. Look that up. That was fucking 3-4 episodes ago, right? 40. Let me see. So we got
but see, Ivan, you can maybe turn it into a deal. These guys are possibly thinking about a sell or carry. Mm-hmm. So get the price dropped a little bit, get the amount down. Nobody wants to put $20,000 down. Price down a little bit, get a $10,000 down payment. I'll probably buy it. But right now at this
the way that it currently is you go renegotiate that and bring back what you renegotiated. Because obviously people are not, and I'm not Ivan, but this goes out to everybody in all aspects. You and people fucking YouTube land, you guys over here on Facebook Live, you guys want to make sure that if you're you can. And I'm talking to this guy who gave me a lot of information about how to build real estate funds. Telling me, and I'm like, yeah, I know I hear you, but I heard that you do it this other way, or actually I'm thinking of doing it this way. Seriously, I'm over here. This motherfucker is taking his time to share his knowledge with me that I don't have, and I'm over here trying to force him as to why my point of view is better than his point of view. Fucking sense, guys. Stop it. We got Melody Lucio says, hey guys, nice job. I have a bunch of buyers wanting a LO home, lease option home, and get some extra money on a JV. Yeah, we will definitely talk about that here. Definitely talk about lease options. I got one that might work. Fucking Walton might work for a lease option deal. But we'll talk about that. Melody, do us a favor. Send us a message on the AZ Flip guys with your information. Either me or Chris will get a hold of you, and we'll see what we can do.
Right.
But we have a deal right now that might specifically fit that. We got Michelle Bosch saying, hey, Brian. Hey, what's up? Make sure you say hi to your husband. Michelle, we need to get together here, me, you, and your husband. Let's set up a time to go to dinner or something and just shoot the shit. Let me know whenever you guys are in town. I would love to see you and Jack and Sophie. Make sure that you bring Sophie. I'm not interested in you guys if you don't bring your cute ass daughter. Super cute. Oh my God. Have you ever met her? Well, she's super cute in pictures, and then she's really smart, spunky, energetic in real life. Really, really cute girl.
Like
my daughter. Oh, they. I'm saying, I told you, Michelle. We need to get those two together because they'll be like.
Brandon Sins is asking, do we want fire damage? Yes. Please bring that. Yeah, send us a private message. I love fire damage.
Yes, send us. And that's the thing about the AZ Flip guys, is that we don't turn away from anything. We will flip a nice house. We will flip a house that is completely burned to the ground. As long as the numbers make sense, it doesn't matter. As I've said, if you guys go a few episodes further back, we did an episode specifically talking about a fire damage that I bought with some fire insurance in there. So all depends on the numbers, all depends on what we're getting in for, if there is any insurance money, how much money that is, and make sure that everybody gets paid out. But yes, we're definitely. So God damn, we're already 42 minutes into it.
Man.
Let me get into the topic that I want to get into today, and it is what it is, guys. But the topic that I really want to get into today is leveling up. Leveling up in this realm that I've just mentioned to you. I mentioned to you Secret Knock. Michelle, if you and Jack, I would highly recommend it. And you didn't hear the part that I said that I don't get paid back. I don't get any type of credit for future events. None of that shit. I just put the invitation out to Corey. I put the invitation out to you. I am extremely selective of who the fuck I even let into that circle, because if I bring somebody who's fucked up, I'm looked at bad and I get kicked out, and that's not gonna fucking happen. I'm not gonna kick out for any of you motherfuckers, but you, Jack, I trust you guys. So if you're interested in that, I'll let you know about the next event coming up here in March. Anyway, guys, this book is filled with information that would have took. Oh man, honestly, the information that I have here about becoming a national speaker, writing a book, which I'll be writing a book in a few months, being on stage. She's gonna allow me to go on stage on Secret Knock this time.
What?
Stage Secret Knock
On March 8th?
Yeah, March Secret Knock. The information that I got from him about creating your brand, putting it out there, becoming a national speaker. This I got from a guy who has spoken in front of the government. This is a guy who has spoken in front of the United Nations, who has interviewed every single bad think of, gave me his knowledge, all his years of information, completed. And then in addition to that, now I got another guy who's giving me his years and years of knowledge about building real estate funds, how he's able to do it, how he's able to protect himself, assets, his investors, everything else is in this little freaking book and a few pages of notes that I took. And this is exactly where you get to leveling up. The first version of leveling up is networking. You want to network. We tell you guys all the time to network. The point where you're networking and you're getting around, eventually the cream of the crop rises to the top. That's just the way that it goes, right? Yep. And as it goes, you're gonna start noticing that not everybody in networking event, not all networking events are the same. Not everybody in a networking event is somebody that you're gonna want to spend time with, but you figure that out as you go. Practice, consider that the minor leagues. Consider that B leagues. This is playing basketball in China. This is playing for a minor league team here for baseball. This is stuff that you're making yourself better, so when you get called up to the big league, be ready. And guys, I have spent 4 years working my fucking ass off to get into this inner circle. I've been fucking working my ass off. I mean, it's not no secret that Greg did not like me the first time that he met me. There's no fucking secret about that whatsoever.
I remember that like it was yesterday.
Like it was yesterday, right? But guys, it's important because that you are leveling up, but you want to make sure that you're ready to level up. And this is why I always tell you guys to start wholesaling on the real estate side of things. Start wholesaling. Consider that as practice. Make some money. Have some money stored away. Learn what a good deal is. Learn what not a good deal is. Learn how to talk to people that know more than you do. Because once you get to flipping, there's going to be people that are more than you. And once you get to this, there's going to be people that know more than you. I was just talking to Corey Peterson, and I'm like, hey, dude, I want to invite you to this event, blah, blah, blah. I think there'll be a lot of people. And I'm like, one of the guys is part of our group there, he had just posted last week how his company has reached $1 million in rents, in monthly rents. So all his fucking units combined are bringing in $1 million in rents.
Wow.
Fucking nuts, right? Gross, nonetheless. Not wow. So I said that to Corey. He's like, damn. Yeah. Guys, it's about leveling up.
But if you've done the $12 million, there's someone who's done $112 million, you know?
And that's exactly, there's always going to be bigger people. There's always going to be bigger fish to fry out there. when you put yourself on there. I'm going to give a shout out here to Michelle Bosch. Her and Jack Bosch, they've actually created a mastermind group specifically for that. It's called Ultimate Boardroom. And they vet you before you go in. They're very selective about who they are. And their motto, if I'm not mistaken, is they like to take you from 6 figures to 7 figures and from 7 figures to 8 figures. Those are all different platforms that you go. But guys, when you start leveling up, you start noticing how these things went. I mean, I've been going to Secret Knock now for 4 years. And to this day, I haven't been able to monetize my relationships. And I'm not even trying to monetize them at this point. I knew that eventually they'll be monetized. But now, because of what happened in this meeting, I'm going to be able to monetize this to an extreme level. For the amount of time that I was able to learn from my buddy Leo, the amount of time that I was able to shorten up. Yes, I'm tenacious. Yes, I'm persistent. Yes, I could have gone and learned it the hard way. And oops, this doesn't work. Let me try it again. Oops, this doesn't work. Let me try it again. And I fucking promise you I would have figured it out. That somebody said, no, don't do it this way. Do it that way. Here's what I do it. Here's how I do it. Here's the reason why. Why do I do this? Here's the tax purposes. Here's why I tell my investors to do this. Here's where I like working with these type of investors that have these type of things and these type of work and blah, 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 blah. From complete. And not only did he tell me all of that, but then I was able to go back and say, okay, well, let me get this straight. You're telling me that if I want to do this, bam, 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 and I just want to make sure that I'm understanding correctly. Oh, yeah, and by the way, I almost forgot to tell you about this way and that way, and this has to be connected here, and this trust connects to that, and that other trust connects to here, and they're going to have to pierce this trust if anybody wants to fucking sue you, and they're going to have to kiss your ass if they want to sue your apartment complex, and you're protected by this, and that. That would have took fucking years, guys. That would have took years.
That would have cost a lot of money too.
A lot of money.
Trial and error and learning that shit the hard way.
Exactly. Pissing off investors, all kinds of shit. It's knowing that you have the ability to go out there. But guys, these opportunities just don't fall from the sky. I pay thousands and thousands of dollars to go to Secret Knock, which is the next one's here in March, and I think they still have a few spots left, probably like less than 10 or something. Then I pay more than twice that to something called Prosperity Camp, which is a much more intimate Secret Knock. Then in addition to that, I pay another amount, which is close to the second amount, to have a one-on-one mastermind with the guy running this, with the guy who's got all the connections for this. This is leveling up. And it's really put up or shut up type. You know, everybody talks about how they want to do better in their business, but nobody's willing to pull up that fucking money. Nobody's willing to put up that time. I had no idea what the hell I was going in there. I really didn't. When I went in there and I talked to Greg and he's like, what do you want to talk about? I'm like, I'm putting it out there. The universe is going to like, tell me what's what. It didn't really matter. Eventually, everything, he was like, well, here's what I see in you. Here's what I think in you. Hey, we got I'm a spirit in the house. My good friend Blue, thank you for joining us. We got Nick over here saying, yo, yo, yo again. Ivan saying, cool, the lowest I got him was 61. I figured I would start at 68 and leave room for negotiation. Ivan, first of all, don't get fucking greedy. You know, if they can't do it, they can't do it. Second of all, 61 is still very, very tight. If the ARV is 70 or 72 or whatever that is, it's not going to work. And honestly, you have to grow the balls to tell that guy to go fuck himself. It's okay. It's okay to tell him, no, I can't do it. Hey, Leo, thank you for joining us. We have Christina, my assistant. She's working on her second deal, right? So we're scheduled to make $10,000, whatever. The seller or my buyer said, hey, man, I'll put up earnest, but I need a seven-day inspection period. It's an old property. You know, it's kind of, I want to make sure that I'm not biting more than you can chew. And this guy has bought many, many, many properties from me. So I'm not afraid that he's going to be just yanking my chain or bullshitting me.
Right.
So I was like, whatever, dude, I'll give it to you. I put it in contract. I talked to the seller. Said, this is what we're doing. She says, yeah. I send her the contract. She said, hey, I'm going to send you back a counter offer. And I said, okay. She took away the inspection period. She wanted me to close right away. The earnest money was non-refundable. No. And Christine was like, "What do you want me to do? You want me to bring?" No, tell her to go fuck herself.
Yeah.
If she's really that serious, then she will do it. If your seller is that serious, then he would do it too. And it's okay, guys. You have to learn that it's okay to just walk away from something. Walk away from a deal. If it's not making you money, then walk away from it. And that's one of the lessons that we learned here. Our good buddy Casey actually was with me, and he's going through a change with his business and what he wants to do. And Greg literally sat him down and said, "Look, man, if it's not making you money, walk away. And if it is making you money, find a way to sell it or leverage it or do something with it." Yeah. And that's just what it goes down to.
It's being real with yourself. You know? If you're in a dying industry, admit it.
You have to admit it, and you have to be willing to. But here's the thing, guys, you don't get that by talking to your friends doing the exact same fucking thing. You don't get that if you just say, "Well, you know what, Chris, he's my buddy. He makes about the same amount of money that I do. We do about the same type of stuff. Let me run it by Chris. Let me see what he thinks." What the fuck do you think he's gonna think? Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. It's just what it is. So I'm sitting here, and this guy's big ass fucking house in Carlsbad, California, literally less than a mile would be long. I think about a mile from the ocean is where we were at, man. It was awesome. It was amazing. We're just hanging out there. He's got this big old fucking house, 2-story house where the stairwell kind of goes this way, and the top, the thing kind of connects like this where all the rooms are at. The bottom, everything's there. He's like, "Let's have a Nerf gun war." And I was like, "Oh yeah." So me, Casey, Alexis, who is one of his assistants, gear up, boom, 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 and we have an all-out Nerf war, like 4 rounds Nerf war in this guy's house, right? The next day we're hanging out, and he's like, "Oh man, let's just go play some stickball." So we're playing stickball right outside his house. The whole time though, as he's interviewing me, Casey's in the house. Speaking of the devil, we got Leon says, "Hey guys, I enjoyed the conversation. Thank you." Tyrone says, "Love the authenticity from Columbus, Ohio." Oh, yes, man. Thank you. We appreciate it. And that's what we say, guys. We're not for everybody, but we are as honest and as real as we can get. This, please make sure that you share it. We don't sell anything. We don't pitch anything. We don't do anything. We just put together opportunities, kind of like the opportunity that we're going to be giving you guys here to buy an apartment complex. And before we say anything further about it, me and you got to talk about some of the shit that I learned here and what we're going to do moving it forward, but it's going to be badass. So if you guys find value in this, make sure that you share it. Casey here says it was fantastic. We're an incredibly fun time. But Casey, you can attest to this. So we're sitting in the house. Greg's like, "All right, what do we want to talk about? Oh, this is what we're doing with you. Okay, this is what we're doing with you." Boom. Well, hey, yeah. I don't know that book. Yeah, no, of course. Dude, I already told you. All right. That's all you got. All right, bye. Boom. So he just hangs up the phone, and then he's just doing this and doing that, and he's literally talking to like Les Brown, Manny Lopez. He's fucking talking to just all kinds of badass individuals, and we're sitting here watching a master work on his craft. We're watching a master go ahead and show what it is that he does and how he does it, and we get to see it on an everyday, I think it's .org, on an everyday thing. And it was just amazing. But it's leveling up. You have to make sure that you're hanging out with the right people. You might have to make sure that you're surrounding yourself with the right people. Birds of a feather flock together. You know, I was talking to Greg, and I was like, "Hey, you know what, Greg? I don't have any friends that are not entrepreneurs. Like I don't have any regular friends, and it's not because I think I'm better than anything. I just don't have any excuse me. It should be Greg S. Reed is what he that would be in.
Oh, it's not his business.
No, I'm not sure what it would be. But anyway, guys, you have to make sure that you surround yourself with people that are better than you. You have to surround yourself with people that are what you want to be. So I'm sitting here, I'm telling Greg, "Hey man, you know, I don't even have friends that are not." He's like, "Dude, I don't even think I know anybody that doesn't have, like, it's not an entrepreneur." He's like, I don't know of anybody that I know that works a regular job, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm at the point where I don't associate with people that don't have, but I still know people that have a regular job. At some point, I'm going to get to a point where I don't know anybody that has a regular job.
Right.
Because that's how ingrained you are. And that goes all into our point that we've always been talking about, networking. Learn from everybody. Surround yourself by people that are way smarter than you. I've said it many times last year, and it will continue this year. I spent a lot of money to be the dumbest person in the room. I spent a shit ton of money to be the dumbest person in the room. And I am so glad when I meet people that are willing to give me their time and information that I shut the fuck up and I listen. And I just ask questions to verify what they say. I just want to make sure that I'm understanding this correctly. You just said X, Y, Z. I'm not there to challenge them. I'm not there to fucking tell them what I think, what so-and-so did, what this other company was doing. None of that shit. None whatsoever. Shut the fuck up. Listen to what the hell they got to say because they know a lot more than you do. And eventually you are going to have to pay. You are going to have to pay. I like Secret Knock. It's not because of who's there, but because of who's not. All these dumb motherfuckers are, I want to do it. I'm doing it. I'm a business owner. I run my own whatever. Small-minded, don't want to grow anything bigger. The S's and the E's on that, on the cash flow quadrant, right? The self-employed and the employees. I don't want nothing to do with those people.
The know-it-all.
The know-it-all. Yeah, I would rather be surrounded. I would rather pay somebody that vets people. And that's the great thing about Secret Knock is that every single person, like if you're interested in going, Chris just put on the comments the link for Secret Knock. You have to go through an application process. Once you go through the application process, then they have to vet you. Then let's say that you make it through all that. If you fuck up on any Secret Knock, our organization, we will self-police and we will literally kick you out because that's how valuable we take this. And every single person that's in that group pays thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to be there. That's where you want to get to at some point, whether you're in real estate or whatever aspect of real estate you're at. And even if it's not real estate, that's one of the great things I say. It's not even about real estate with Secret Knock. It's just about learning to get outside and learning to surround yourself with higher individuals. So let me see here. We're going to end it. We got these last two ones. We had, oh, hey, Joseph. Thank you for joining us. I haven't seen you in a while. We got Mr. Daniel Martinez in the house. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you for sponsoring. Thank you for supporting our nonprofit. We have another event coming up here in 2 Saturdays that we will talk about next week. But anyway, Daniel, if you want to cut us another check, we would gladly accept that. We're going to be warming out the homeless.
Yeah.
Checks?
Yeah.
Well, cut us a check for the nonprofit. Let me see.
You inspired me, man. I gotta go for 1,000 stocks this year. I'm gonna give away 1,000 stocks this year.
Well, make sure that you put them on there because we have our Warm the Homeless event is happening on the 27th, which is the last Saturday of the month. News out there again. We're working on having a few things out there, but we're going to be passing out blankets, hats, gloves, socks. If you want to put some socks on there. Yep. If you're collecting shoes for charity, Daniel, make sure you send those out. So this month we're going to be passing out stuff to keep them warm. Next month, depending on how cold or not it is, we may be also keeping them warm, or we're probably going to be passing out shoes, socks, and other like underwear and those type of things that we normally do. So let me see. Casey says, my mind has been racing all day now that I'm back at home base. Right, dude. Casey, I wanted to take all day off today just to fucking mull over the mentals. That's without me even opening my notes here. Let me see. Talked to 2 different people this morning about potentially selling my business, thanks to the info and connections that I got from this trip. Yes. And that's the thing, guys, is that I didn't know what we were going to talk about. Casey didn't know what we were going to talk about. The only thing that we agreed on is we said, Greg, we've known that you've gone through a few changes business-wise. We're going through a few changes individually in our own businesses. What type of advice can you give us? And then, I mean, it's like you're sitting there with the fucking Yoda master, you know, where without even thinking, he's like he's half-assed listening to you. Dude, you really? Come on, man. Why would you do that? You should really think about selling your business. Like, come on, that's the problem. Here's a call this lady. Like, just go call this lady, man. Oh, and by the way, tell her this. That is who you're dealing with here. And that is the amazing thing. So anyway, I'm glad that I was able to be of value to you, my friend. I'm so happy that you listened to me and showed up. You give extra shout out to Chris for not making it this time, because if not, then you wouldn't have had that experience. But you're welcome, Casey, and I hope that works out great for you. And that's actually, that story is going to be in my book, in a parable about clarity leads to power. Because one of the things that we came up with Greg is he's like, you're writing a fucking book this year. So that's what the fuck I'm doing. Okay. And it's going to be, clarity leads to power. So we got over here, Scott Utterback says, happy Friday. Hey, thank you, Scott. Much appreciated. Another Secret Knock family member over there. This guy is amazing. It's just fucking amazing, dude. And the thing about it is that construction company, he created this thing for a paint roller that is patented. He's talking about doing either mass distribution or putting it into some type of infomercial type thing. And a lot of the connections are coming from the people over at Secret Knock. So big shout out to you, Scott, for doing what you're doing. Yeah, big shout out. Looking forward to catching up with you here in March. We got Orlando in the house. We got DMAC Beats. Happy Friday. Thank you for sharing knowledge. You're welcome. And once again, guys, we repeatedly say this throughout the show. In the show, we don't ask for anything. We don't sell anything. We don't promote anything. We're just putting out information. We're putting out content out there. We do have a few changes lined up for the AZ Flip guys, like we talked about last week, and we're going to be working on perfecting the craft and making this a little bit nicer, more professional, more congruent with everything that we're doing. But at the end of the day, we're not pitching anything, we're not selling anything, we're just putting out information. So make sure that you like the AZ Flip guys, make sure that you follow the AZ Flip guys. Not only will you stay in touch with everything going on here with our Flipping Friday shows, which we do every single Friday, barring any type of accident. Like Chris had he had court or something today, or your family member had family member.
Ended up not.
Yeah. So anyway, he was almost not going to be able to make it. I would have ran the show myself or with the guest. Whenever I can't do it because of my travels, Chris will normally do the same. So make sure that you're doing that. And also, Chris puts his flip tips. That's something that he does pretty much on a weekly basis. He puts at least one flip tip where he talks about anything: how to find a deal, how to talk to a wholesaler, how to bring a deal, how to wholesale a deal, what to look for on certain things, water heaters, roofs, all kinds of different intricate things that are happening in the flip business particularly. And one of the great things that he did about 2 videos ago, he talked to a title rep to talk about hold open policies, which is something I was flipping for. I found out what a hold open policy was, and I literally lost
a lot of money, man.
A lot of money. Yeah, if you consider those 2 years and the amount of flips that we did in those 2 years, what do you say, $20,000 probably that was lost in from the hold open policies?
Yeah.
So anyway, guys, those are huge things. Luis is joining us all the way from Ecuador. Luis, I have decided that I am going to be planning a trip to Ecuador. I don't know exactly when it is. I want to see about going to Ecuador and then laddering down to Peru to go to Machu Picchu. But either way, I need to come check out what's going on over there. Other than that, guys, we are at 1 o'clock. We are 5 minutes past our time. We want to give a big shout out to you. If you guys are watching this and it's not live, make sure that you put your questions on there. If you guys have any questions that you thought about later in the day, make sure that you put your questions out there. Anybody out there in YouTube land, this is our first time doing the YouTube video. Yeah. If you don't put any comments, I'm not even sure how that works or not, but once it uploads, make sure that you put questions in the comments. We'll go back there and answer those questions our best to our ability. And as you guys know here, we're always open to talking, communicating, partnering up. 2018 is going to be an extremely exciting year. I told this motherfucker last year for his birthday to give me 2 fucking years. We're about to hit year number 1, and I was completely
That's the best time, though. It's next level, right? That's another way of leveling up.
Another way of leveling up. So anyway, guys, we have a lot of big things happening. Chris, BP, as individuals, as business partners, the AZ Flip guys, there's a lot of big things going on this year. Let me see one last thing here before we sign off. Hector de Santiago says, appreciate all the values you guys provide. been back and forth from flipping from LA, flipping a property with my mom in Phoenix. About to go on the market. Would be cool to meet up with some California medicinal. Oh yeah, hell yeah, fuck yeah. So you want to meet up with some California medicinal and brainstorm on how we can help each other. I will take you up on that any freaking day, any single day. I've said this before, and you guys know that I don't give a shit. I'm very, very honest with my stuff. The majority of my money, especially over the last few years, has been made smoking weed, drinking alcohol, or eating food with individuals. That's been the most ways, and it's all networking.
Those are like the best types of networking.
It's all networking. It all comes down to networking. So Hector, do me a favor, send me your information. Definitely love to connect whenever you're in Phoenix here. I travel to LA or Southern California a few times a year, but if you're in Phoenix, definitely set up. I'll go. You can come to my house. We'll smoke. We'll talk business, and we'll see how we can help each other. So anyway, guys, that is Cashflow Chris. This is BP the Mentor, reminding you once again to flip for cash, but more importantly, make sure that you hold for wealth.
Oh, it was a good day, right?
Yes, it was.
Can't wait to hear about this.
We need to have like a board so we can put the outro music. Oh man, a good show for not having a topic.
Yeah.
Hector, send me a message.
Facebook or no, YouTube.
Yay.
Yeah, let us know what you thought.
See you later.